in virtual reality. The week before last, I became the first teacher in the world to deliver a global lesson inside VR alongside the co-founder of Pixar. Last year, I became the first teacher in the world to deliver CPD inside VR, actually hosting a panel discussion inside VR at the end of the week. And this session, I'm going to be looking at the concept of using virtual reality to foster empathy. It's somewhat based on an article I penned back end of 2017. I'll share the link to that later on. Did it work? Oh, lovely, there we go. I'm going to stand here and somewhat going over like this. So in the last, in the last 5 or 6 years in particular, this debate has arisen in terms of the way students consume content rather than the need for them to be creating content, particularly in the era of mobile technology, when suddenly they've got devices in their hands and in their pockets, which allow them to create much more readily than in years gone by. What virtual reality was, though, is something completely new, and that is the ability to experience content. And experiential learning is very different to traditional consumption of media, and it sits in a completely new space. So last year, I published this model for the depths of virtual reality, 4 stages from inception to immersion. It's probably the most popular piece of content I've ever produced. It's been shared hundreds of times on social media and picked up by a couple of universities for use in their VR training programs. The thread that leads through from these, what I call the lower levels of virtual reality, so this is kind of the 360 images and 360 videos, coming through towards the higher levels of VR where you've got full immersion. In other words, I've got something like an HTC Vive headset on, and I can be in a fully virtual room, and I can move over to a virtual table and pick objects up, and I can interact with people. I can do things like I mentioned already, like sit in a space with 50 other teachers from all over the world and have discussions if we were in the same room. And the thread that leads through is autonomy. This thread here is autonomy, because as you move towards the higher levels of virtual reality, you become more autonomous, you have more control, you have more power. But even at the lower levels, VR can be a really powerful medium. There we go. There's something else I published last year, which is the 8 reasons why VR will transform education. Something that I'm a firm believer in, that's the whole Simon Sinek golden circle approach of start with the why. Always consider why you're doing something rather than just start with what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. So today we're going to focus on just one of these, which is this concept of the empathy machines. Okay, it's like the students who now have emotive response to experiences. They use that to develop empathy because you can walk in other people's shoes. So that term actually comes from this right here. This is Chris Milner. Chris is a multi-award winning filmmaker, and he's the CEO of a company called Within. In 2015, he delivered a TED talk about the emergence of virtual reality, and as part of that talk, he used the term, you can see the quote there, the virtual reality is the ultimate empathy machine. Now this was massively controversial. Right? Just type in ultimate empathy machine on Google and you'll see half of the people saying that he's the greatest genius that ever lived, and the other half saying that he hasn't got a clue what he's talking about. To be honest, having experienced a lot of virtual reality applications for myself, including real high level ones, I 100% believe that virtual reality can be used to foster empathy in children and in adults. I think the problem with Chris's terminology here is the fact that he used the word machine. And machine implies that it's automatic, doesn't it? It implies that it's automatically going to happen. And even though I adopted that on that graphic I just showed you, that white VR, I've actually taken to referring, instead of as the empathy machine, I now refer to it as the empathy agent. Virtual reality can be used as an agent to foster virtual reality. It is not a done deal that you put a virtual reality headset on and you automatically empathise the situation that you're in, but it's definitely something that can be used to create an effect in later time. So Chris's company, Within, one of the, if you've ever experienced how virtual reality storytelling, this is the place to start. Within is completely multi-platform, you can access it just from their website. You can download it for free on iOS, Android. It runs on Windows VR headsets. It runs on Steam. It's completely free, and it's a collection of virtual reality film experiences from documentaries to narrative stories. Many of them are award-winning. It's got music video content, all kinds of things. Three in particular that I recommend are the three that you see on the side there: Clouds Over Sidra, A Fistful of Stars, and Giant. And it was Clouds Over Sidra which puts you in the shoes of refugees, which really put the company and Chris as an artist on the map after winning multiple awards. And this was what really kick-started this discussion globally within the VR community in terms of can virtual reality be used to foster empathy. And it was something that I really was interested in, so I started to dig into what types of experiences were out there. So I'm going to show you a few examples. Honestly, I'm showing you in a very passive way. You're sitting here, you're looking at my presentation. At the end of the session, I'll give you the link to the article that this presentation is based on. And a lot of these can be accessed completely for free. In some places just on YouTube. So here's one from the Guardian newspaper in the UK. It's one of a couple of experiences. This one's called 6 by 9, 6 times 9, which is the dimensions of a solitary confinement prison cell. This one's narrated by a series of prisoners who have experienced solitary confinement, and they talk you through the mental hardship that it entails being locked in such a small space, completely on your own, while of course you are in that space for yourself. It's something that I hope everyone in this room would never experience, and it's something therefore that's very hard for us to empathise with. So being able to step virtually into that space, whilst having that narration contextualise what's going on, it's quite a powerful thing. There's another one. This one is by the USA Today network. They have a VR lab called Virtually There, and this was something that they put out. Obviously, over in the States right now, there's this guy called Donald, who's somewhat controversial. And one of Donald's controversial plans is to stick up a great big wall to block off all of South America. And everyone in America has got an opinion on it. And 90% of America don't understand anything to do with the concept. They just they form an opinion based on the media. Okay? What the USA Today did with the experience with the wall is to put you right there at this wall in between the South America and North America, and it walks you through a series of experiences as if you were there and you were going through this political situation to try and help you understand the ramifications of what doing that would mean to that country. There's another one. This is one that I was beta testing last year. This platform is called Equal Reality, and is a training simulator to teach people about unconscious bias. And it's the most bizarre thing. So it loads up, and you're there, and you have a full avatar. So I'm in virtual reality, and I've got arms and I've got legs. And in front of me is a mirror, and I can see myself, I can see my avatar. And there's a row of mirrors, and if I step one step this way, I become a woman in the mirror. If I step this way, suddenly my race changes. Take another step, suddenly I'm in a wheelchair. And I can step into these different shoes, select one, and then go into an office environment. And the simulation encourages you to highlight the moments in a conversation where unconscious bias is used, to try and help you understand what it's like to be a female in a work environment, to be someone who is handicapped and is having to work inside an office. It's still under development right now. It's quite an interesting concept, and it's something that lots of companies are starting to look into, this idea of making sure that there is balance and fairness in the workplace. Then there's becoming home. This one comes from Stanford. Stanford have a guy called Jumeirah. He runs their casually it's referred to as their VR lab, but the official title is their human interaction lab. But Stanford are doing some absolutely world-class work in terms of looking at the use of virtual reality to foster empathy. In the light of the racially charged protests in in America. They have actually recently been developing some really cutting edge concepts to try and see if someone who is racist can have that trained out of them using VR. But this was one they released last year to some acclaim and some controversy, Becoming Homeless. Essentially a virtual reality experience which allows you to go through the steps of running out of money, having to sell all of your possessions, and ultimately living on the street in New York. Now, I've got a little video of it from this one. I don't know if it's going to play, so let's roll that dice together. Maybe the other sort. Might be playing with no sound. Playing with Where are we then? Obviously that's not standard dreaming, standard virtual reality that works specifically in that field. The logic, of course, is again to try and empower people to experience something that they're not going to necessarily experience for themselves, and to try and help them empathise with something that they perhaps never get the chance to empathise with. Hopefully, before the end of this academic year, we're going to try that one out with some of our sixth form students. It might be very interesting to see how sixth form students from quite an affluent community in this part of the world will be able to empathise with becoming homeless. This leads me to possibly the most powerful one you'll ever experience. Background cancer. This is the single most obvious example of the power of virtual reality to foster empathy. So, Background Cancer is a 90-minute documentary piece. It's a memoir to a boy called John and his 4-year battle with cancer. It was created in collaboration with his family, completely non-profit. It was created in such a way that it includes original audio recordings from the family, it includes original testimonials from the family, and it literally puts you alongside that family whilst they go through this horrific ordeal of their young son contracting cancer and the subsequent battle that he went through. Now again, I've got a short clip from this one. deliberate decision by numerous the developers of the app to give them this kind of blank-faced quality, partly so that it did not seem like it was what's the word I'm looking for? Exploitative. Is that exploitative? It's not very original, exploitative. But also it gives the characters this kind of everyman quality, and as you essentially seep into their family during this awful time in their lives, it really does help you to identify what's going on, and essentially you end up sitting there playing with this little boy. It's hard for me to put into words how powerful that is. The best example I can give you is, I'm sure you guys know that these days kids are obsessed with YouTube and YouTubers. That's a job now apparently, being a YouTuber, and YouTubers quite often they record themselves playing games. And there are a lot of VR YouTubers out there, and they'll download every game and they'll record themselves playing games. If you type in that Dragon Cancer on YouTube, you'll find dozens and dozens and dozens of videos of these guys that start their videos like, right guys, today we're going to do this one, and by the end of it they are a mess. They are openly weeping and literally cannot even speak to the camera anymore. It is so powerful. You see these guys that are not used to this type of experience going through this 90-minute immersive experience where they come out the other side feeling like they're a part of that family. Can't recommend it enough, completely free. Do seek it out. Do bear in mind that it is incredibly powerful. So I'm going to seek from that to something slightly less, or slightly more chirpy, which is virtual me. So I mentioned earlier on that I host these sessions inside virtual reality, and look, we're getting a bit meta here. This is me looking at virtual me, delivering a presentation inside virtual reality, whilst I stand here talking about virtual reality. So as I mentioned, I host these sessions. I host them for free every month. I've got one this Thursday with 50 teachers from all over the world. And because I was really interested in this concept of virtual reality and empathy, last year I decided that I would host a panel discussion around that concept. Okay? Sometimes we do kind of silly things like this, or we all go to Mars and put giant whales in the sky. And sometimes we like to get quite serious. Normally that's kind of the after party. So this was the lineup that I put together. There's me hosting this panel discussion. So Dominic Escoffier, he's the head of virtual reality for NVIDIA. They're the guys that make the graphics cards that make virtual reality possible. David Romero is a technical specialist from the American HTC Vive team. And I had a third guest, and they pulled out with a couple of weeks ago, and so I struggled to find a replacement. And one person led to another, and I ended up with the chap that you can see on the end, who was actually sitting on the middle of the couch. He's a great head guy. His name is Sean Gilroy, and he works for the BBC. Sean's job title is Head of Cognitive Design, and he actually heads up an initiative called BBC CAPE, which stands for Creating a Positive Environment. Sean works alongside a lady who was actually sitting in the audience. If I go back a slide, you can see the names are obviously hovering. You can only see kind of the front row of people here from where this picture's been taken, but this lady sitting down here, Lena, works with Sean. Lena is severely autistic, and one of the projects that BTK authored, one of their first projects, was this autism experience, okay, which our event that Sean was sitting on there was the first time it was publicly shared. So this was made in conjunction with Lena, okay? Lena wanted people to try and understand what it would be to be her and how she sees the world. So this experience puts you in an office situation in first person perspective, as if you have the level of autism that Lena has. So you can hear the heart beating, and as you look around, the words on the screen are moving around, and when people say certain things, the physical manifestation of that thing appears above their heads. You turn to the lady next to you and she goes, "Oh, I know you, I never forget a face." And the whole time her face is like this. And it's really, really powerful. It's something that I've never really experienced myself before. And it's something that hopefully, if we've got a little bit of time at the end, we're going to let you guys experience this as well. We've got a link queued up. We've actually bought a few VR headsets with us. Time permitting, we'll do that. Now, we've been doing a lot of work with virtual reality in Justify over the last 3 to 4 years. I've I've lost track of the number of VR presentations I've delivered. This is my very last presentation of the academic year, talking about all kinds of different projects, using them from, literally got some projects coming up, using from Foundation 1 right away to Year 13. And after experiencing this, I've become quite good friends with Sean Gilroy from the BBC, and I'm trying to find a way to do something with it. And the logical area to harness this for me was our psychology department. And we'd already delivered one project. You can find it on the Jester by YouTube channel. This was from last year. We took the plank experience, which some of you may have done before, where you go up in a virtual lift, the doors open, and then you're at the top of a high-rise tower, and there's a plank. We took the plank experience last year to our psychology department and put a load of our sixth form psychology students and one of our psychology teachers onto it, recorded them doing the experience, and then recorded their reactions to it. So it seemed like a natural thing. So the first thing that we did is I spoke to Jumeirah English, who is sitting in the back of the room. Give us a wave, Sharon. There we go. Sharon's our head of psychology at Chester Boy. I spoke to Sharon about trying to find a way that we could pull these ideas together, and Sharon suggested that we do something with the Psychology Society. In Chester, there's a lot of different societies, kind of like extracurricular clubs that the students can join. In this case, they're run by sixth form students, and in this case, they're run by this sixth form student who's sitting right here. This is Megan. Megan, give everybody a wave. Megan is a Year 12 student at Jess. She is the head of the Psychology Society. So we put together this first session, we brought the kids in. Megan is just slightly, I think Megan, you took this photo, didn't you? That's why you're in it. You can see Sharon here. I'm over the back trying to sort out the vibe, and then we had all the students here in a semicircle, and they all went through and experienced Sean's EDCK autism project. And that was really, really powerful to them. They really, really enjoyed that, and we started thinking that there's definitely something more we can do here. So the logical step was, right, we've experienced that content, so what can we do next? So I called Sean and said, right, Sean, would you be willing to talk to our students? He's a good bloke, so he said yes. So then our students got to speak to Sean live from the BBC studios, where we was working on a different project. So they did a Skype, they asked them lots of questions about the project and about psychology and the cognitive science behind creating that experience. They were really inspired by that, and that led to ultimately the start of what we had done for the FP 360 project, which leads me to here, which is this picture of Megan staring at this curious little blue video here. So this is a 360 camera. It's actually, if you look at the specifics, it's an Insta360 camera. It's an Insta360 If you're looking for a 360 camera, I can't recommend that one enough. Very, very compact, plugs into a phone, well, just as easily attached to a tripod, really, really high definition for a consumer level 360 camera. So, essentially, inspired by Sean's project, we decided that we were going to make a 360 film of our own, a 360 FP of our own. And I handed the reins of the project completely over to Megan, because she's a little superstar, quite a big superstar in this movement. And Megan has very, very kindly agreed to come and speak to you today a little bit about the project. So, welcome Megan up. Tell me a bit more about what we're doing.
I'd like everyone to take a minute and close their eyes. Imagine you're back at school. You're in a classroom and you're staring at a test paper. I know this question. I just revised it again this morning. Your heart is racing. My mind has gone blank. Why does this keep happening to me? Just revise, they tell me. Just stay positive, they tell me. No one understands. Everyone is staring at me, and now my teacher's walking towards me. I've only answered one question, and the bell rings. You can open your eyes. My name is Megan Donnell, and I'm the current head of Psychology Society at Jumeirah English Speaking School. My journey started last year, the 10th of October, World Mental Health Day. I was part of a campaign run by the school to raise awareness on mental health issues, with its main focus being breaking down the stigma and discrimination that surrounds it. Some interesting global statistics my team and I observed is that 1 in 13 people worldwide suffer from an anxiety disorder. Only 36.9% of these people seek and receive treatment. Surpassing even depression, anxiety is the most common form of mental illness in the world. Without treatment, this can lead to things such as social withdrawal and even fear of leaving your own house. This information came straight from the World Health Organization and was later reinforced by my school counselor at the school, who said that anxiety is the most common form of illness that she sees. Fast forward to today. My team and I are currently creating a 2-part virtual reality 360 video depicting first, a day in the life of a student at Jess experiencing anxious thoughts and behaviours in response to daily stresses. And second, that same student reliving that day but using appropriate tools to manage those anxious thoughts. Our main goal from this video is to allow students to recognise the symptoms of anxiety, to empathise those who may have it, and more importantly, to give them the tools to empower and manage these anxious thoughts that they may be having, to prevent them obviously from spiralling. So, what's next? We are currently finishing the script with the hope to finish and edit it before the end of term. We hope to launch it during PSHE lessons in the school at the start of the next term. Personally, I'm really excited about this project and grateful that we've had the opportunity to use this new and innovative technology in the school. I can confidently say that my team and I have created something, or will create something, that we can be proud of when we finish school next year, and something that hopefully for many years to come can be beneficial for students from year 7 all the way up to year 13 and beyond.
Very nice. Well, aside the brilliance of that project and this young lady here, but for Beckham coming into year 13, looking to apply to university next year, how amazing is that to have that on your university application? Also, like, when they want more than just statistics. Oh, right, yes, you've got these credits. What else have you done? Well, I produced the world's first virtual reality film to help students deal with stress in conjunction with the BBC. Bush, this is in conjunction with Sean. Sean obviously inspired the project, and Sean will be our test bed for what we produce. So when the film, the first drafts of the film are produced, they will be shared over to Sean, and Sean's team over at UCK will be involved in the iteration of the film and the refining of the project to make sure that it's as good as it can be. Because obviously we're going to put this out worldwide. This is not something we're just doing for our Jess community or for our for the UAE. We're going to try and push this in worldwide because this is, as Megan was saying, this is something that students worldwide are dealing with. Now, in a perfect world, at this point we go, and here it is, the film, but it's not. We could have rushed it, but we didn't want to. You know, it's not the point. It wasn't the point of trying to rush through it, and unfortunately, my job leads me in all kinds of different directions. And to be honest, the last couple of weeks, Megan and myself and Sharon have been fighting to find a spare moment together. This is why it's handy the fact that I've got a year 12 who's able to just roll with a project and keep it moving forwards. Instead, what we're going to do, how are we doing time? She's going to come in. At some point, that door's going to open, and that young lady's going to come back and ask you all to do this survey. So I'm going to tell you right now, apparently you've got to do this survey. The word you're looking for is outstanding. Okay, all categories. What I will do just quickly, I'm going to skip past this screen and come back to it. I did mention before about the article that this presentation is based on. So my website, virtualityteach.com, contains tons of content to do with augmented virtual reality in education. That is the article that this comes from. It contains the experiences that I talked about today, plus a bunch more. All of the content that I published on there is completely non-for-profit, it's all freely shared. All the theory stuff that you saw at the start, the model and the reasons why, all of that stuff's on there as well. And if you are interested in joining these sessions that I host inside VR, that's the easiest way to get early access to the sign-ups. So it's just right on there. And you can connect with me. I essentially live online, and Twitter is the single best way to follow me. I have 5 different Twitter channels, but those are the 3 main ones. That's my school channel, my personal channel, and my website channel. You can see the website address at the bottom. So, as I mentioned, we don't have our projects ready, but what we have got is short. I was going to do this as a QR code, and I realised it's such an easy thing to type in. We just do it this way. So, if you would like to see Sean's the BCK project, it's here, right? So, it will obviously work on any device. On YouTube, the app, I'm going to type in BBCK. Okay. Doesn't need to be capitals or anything. I know I've got capitals, all I haven't. Okay. You're looking for that thumbnail. Or on 3G. I think there's some Wi-Fi there, so you might need to jump on that Wi-Fi. I'm looking for this thumbnail, and you can jump on. If you've got it on a regular phone, you'll be able to load it up and look around it using the gyroscope in your phone. But what we have got over here are a bunch of the VR headsets that we use, the mobile VR headsets we use in secondary school. So we use these in our secondary school. These are called Bobo's D4 headsets. Really, really cheap on super.com. We're talking less than 100 euros, integrated audio. If you would like to try one of these, we'll just pause this. I don't know if you guys can see it back there, but if you've got a phone that is capable of running it, i.e. most Android and iOS devices, in the YouTube app, once you load up, you get a little virtual reality mask icon in the bottom right hand corner. If you press that, and it goes into what we call stereoscopic mode. Okay. At that point, you can put it into a headset and you can actually sit in it in VR. And if you've got a regular audio jack, you can jack straight in and use the audio from these headsets as well. So if you would like to have a little look at this, then you're more than welcome to load it up. If you'd like to borrow a headset from us, myself or Megan can help you out. If not, then please apparently go to www.whatworks.ae because they're going to kick us out in about 10 minutes and she said that you all need to do that survey. Cool. And if anyone has any questions, I'll wander around and answer questions at the same time. Okay? Thanks, guys. Go on ahead.
Yeah, you should try it. It's good. Because you can move your head completely 360 as if you're that person. So you're perfect. So you turn around and you don't down.
I feel like it's going to be a good idea for promotion for other industries as well. Like, let's say, like, a Star Wars movie, options like
Maybe they're doing it, I guess it's just the cameras like this. So you're within it.
yeah.
You'll know better than me. I'm just like this video. It's really cool. And again,